Like you're on track for a successful Saturday.
Yeah, I felt really good to just be out there and making laps again. We ran a Capitani, obviously it rained out, but it was just a little bit of an eerie feeling coming back. But for the most part, I mean, it just feels like normal. I think Knoxville Raceway is incredible, and I'm lucky that my crash did happen here. I think that their fire and safety crew is incredible, and that's why we brought this car this weekend. You know, it's kind of to make a little bit of a light of a bad situation, but also kind of a thank you tribute to the fire safety crew. So it feels good to feel good again, man. It was, you know, it sucked there for a few weeks even trying to race, but I feel a lot better now, and you know, I know Philip Dietz, Clyde Knipp, and they rep as this All Ball 41 teams are always really good here in Knoxville. So I was a little nervous when the top was so fast early, but I'm glad that it played out.
Questions here in front?
This is for all three of you guys. The cautions at the end of that race, multiple cautions, did that help or hinder you, and were they making you nervous that we had that many towards the end?
I was definitely not one to see the last couple. I felt like I was starting to fade there a little bit at the end, and I nailed a couple starts there early to get me where I was, but I kind of knew I wasn't probably strong enough to get by the 41. So that last one, especially with the red as seemingly we were crossing the finish line, I wasn't excited to see that one.
I mean, for me, the last couple worked out for me. I was able to get by Macri. He was trying to run the bottom. I was able to get by him, and then the caution came out right away. And then, then with Spencer, I honestly, I mean, I thought I could get a good launch on the restart, maybe do something 1 and 2, and that didn't work out. I missed the bottom or middle, whatever you want to call it. And Macri got my outside down the back, and was just trying to hopefully protect third. You know, I knew that we were at that point going to be on the front row, and then my car stuck super good on the bottom of 3 and 4. Was able to run on Spencer and slide him. So yeah, I mean, it worked out for me, but I'd have been happy just cruising to third there before that last one.
Yeah, I didn't like seeing any of them come out. I was, you know, I obviously had there's no secret that Spencer Bayston and Kyle Larson are two of the best in the sport, and you know, that's how I got by Macri, was on the restart there. He kind of missed that little bit of grip strip off the bottom of turn 4, and I was able to squeeze to his inside there at the cone and then slide him in turn 1 and 2. So I knew that missing that bottom was going to be detrimental. I actually kind of got tight and got out of it on the first restart and stacked the whole field up, it sounds like. So I was just trying not to do that again, get off turn 4 clean, and then I knew if I won the race through 1 and 2 that it would be pretty tough to get by me, just because I could see on the big screen every lap that I was getting a little bit of a gap there, you know, just running the top. So once you get out in clean air on these tracks where the top's dominant, it's really hard for a guy in second to get a run unless he starts plugging the bottom nice. So I didn't put it past these two. I thought, you know, there was a good chance that they maybe could figure it out and get by me, but I was very thankful to see the checkered come out.
Bottom right here.
Carson, talk about your car in the race. I mean, it looked like, you know, you had to use slide jobs to kind of get up to where you needed to go, but you did try the bottom. Are you happy overall with where your car is at? Do you feel like you got a car you can win with on Saturday?
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, I'm biased, but I think Philip Dietz is the best mechanic in the game. I think he's incredible at what he does, and early in the race, I felt like my car was great. You know, the couple of times I went down at the bottom, I could at least maintain, and I felt like I was pretty solid in 3 and 4. 1 and 2 was, I thought, really top dominant, and I was just trying to see if I could get close enough to throw a slider down there, but I was telling Kyle on the way over here, it was weird. Like I ran the bottom in 3 and 4, not even really expecting to get close enough to the 6 car, and it just was like I got a good enough run off of 4, and then I kind of squeezed that grip down the bottom of the front stretch, and it just gave me just enough to kind of grab the grip into 1 and drive across and get in front of him. It was, I mean, I think it was fairly close, but the good part is I think once you slid up to the top of turn 2, it was going to be pretty hard for a guy to diamond back across and beat you down into turn 3. So yeah, I mean, my car was incredible. Clyde, Phil, and Nate are an incredible group of guys, and thankful to be driving it.
Front row again, guys, right here, front row.
Carson, obviously, the qualifying nights are so important, but tonight was really loaded, especially with Kyle and Rico, and who were two of the favorites. You got to feel pretty good coming out of this night on top as far as winning the race against a field like that. That's got to help you going into Saturday from a mental standpoint.
Yeah, I think in the past, running these races like the Eldora Million and Knoxville and even the National Open and the Kings Royal, I would just get myself so spun out. It's like you try and reinvent the wheel, and you got to be way better than you normally are. But the truth is, you race against the best guys in the country every night. You know, you just execute what you know and do your job the best you can do. And I feel like that's what I tried to do tonight. Just be calm, have fun. Really, the heat race is the most overwhelming part. I know if I could get through the heat race and just get into a transfer spot, I could at least battle in the feature and see where I was at. But it definitely gives me a lot of confidence. I feel like that Saturday main is always so tough. 50 laps, the break in between obviously is going to be, I'm not top in points, but I heard that I'm inside third row, so that's really good. Starting in the top 3 rows, I feel like my car's good enough. But you never know until Saturday night, and I'm just happy to be locked in and starting in a good spot.
Far right side of your guys.
Kyle, it took a little bit for your car to come in during that A main. Did you make any wing adjustments late in that race? I know Austin got by to take 5th, I think, with about 10 or so laps to go. Did you change anything with the car, or is that just kind of the nature of the beast here?
Early in the race, I spent the first couple laps trying the top, and I didn't have very good grip, and I went to the bottom, and I think about the time I went to the bottom, the top came in, Spencer got by. Spencer and I got racing really hard. I slid him a couple times, and I should have just protected, and I think I wouldn't have had to have dealt with him as long as I did, but I thought I got off of turn 2 well enough I could run the top, and he was able to get back by me, and then I think that same point we caught the 6 car maybe, and I just made a wrong decision behind him, and then Austin was all over me and got by, and then after that, the cautions kind of worked out, but I don't know, these things, the wings go back on their own, so I don't really ever have to touch it.
Right side of you guys.
Yeah, Kyle, just talk about before that early impressive run you made in the heat race there. You went all the way up from 7th in the first, and you touched on a little bit in victory lane afterwards about how much this weekend means to you, or racing tonight means to you here. Can you kind of elaborate on that a little bit more?
The heat race was great. It obviously worked out a lot better than I thought it would. 7th is like the worst place to start in a heat race, and thankfully, we were able to just get a decent launch. I think whoever started on the outside, the 2nd row maybe didn't get a great start and kind of choked up the top, and I think I came off turn 2 and 5th. And then my car felt really good. I got to 3rd pretty quickly, and just was going to be happy finishing there, and just tried to be patient. And then Macri and Colby got racing, and the door kind of opened for me to get by Anthony, and was able to get by Colby the next corner. So my car felt extremely good in that heat race. That was really good. It was just, honestly, I was just happy to make the A main. Those heat races are so tough, and like I said, starting 7th is like the worst spot you can possibly be.
Over here, guys.
Spencer, how important to you and the team itself just to lock yourself in and to do it the way you did it, having a great car, passing a lot of cars, and battling with these 2 guys?
Yeah, it's everything. It's something I've been trying to do for the last handful of years. I've never made a Knoxville Nationals A main, and this is my first one. And to do it in this fashion, after being maybe a little bit further behind there after qualifying in the heat race than we wanted to be, to having a really good, strong start, exactly how it needed to go there at the beginning of the feature, and getting us to sit up here on this stage. So for me, it's huge. It's hard to describe just kind of the overwhelming joy I had there, just crossing the finish line and knowing that, and then hearing that we're locked in. But for our team, CJB, and our owner, Chad Clemens, and everyone that's involved with our program, we worked tirelessly. And then last year here, things didn't go the way that we planned. And it hasn't been from lack of effort. So just to be able to reward them with an A main lock-in spot going into Saturday, and for my family, my fiance Audrey, we're new to this life a little bit, and I don't come from a racing background, so to be able to come to the biggest stage and just be in the dance is extremely special to me and everyone around me.
Time for 2 more here, guys. One in the middle.
Kyle, you're a high point guy. When you're racing, it was pretty intense out there. Are you thinking about points at all, whether to be aggressive, whether not to be aggressive, kind of just sit tight with all the cautions? And also, with starting on the pole now, obviously you're great at chasing and leading, but is there a place do you take kind of approach Saturday differently starting on the pole?
Yes, while I'm racing, I'm not really thinking, my goal is honestly not to pass everybody and be the high point guy. I was really just don't F this up, so you don't end up starting, I knew we had a good enough night going to that point. If I finished at the top, 8, like I'm gonna be starting in a good spot. So yeah, my goal was really just not to mess it up. And I almost spun out a couple times, so just kind of had to settle in and was just gonna take whatever I could get. And then we got the red flags, and I could hear, you know, the announcers talking about the point situation. You know, I think at one point it was Logan and Donnie on the front row. And I was like trying to do the math in my head. I was like, man, I think I'm probably like third or fourth starting position, you know, where I'm running, so I'll take that. And then we started easing forward, and then another red came out where I think Rico was in 5th. And I heard them say, you know, we were going to be on the front row. I think we were tied at that point when I was running 3rd and he was 5th. So again, I was just like, all right, just don't screw this up. And you know, if Rico moves forward, he can have the pole. I don't care. I just want the front rows. So no, it was good to get one more position there and you know, get the high point honors. It's definitely an honor, I think, you know, when you can be the high point guy out of a field this stout. So, but obviously that doesn't pay anything. So you want to win the race on Saturday, and for sure. I mean, I've never started on the pole this race, but I would think that you probably would have a little bit different mindset. And honestly, I mean, I don't love starting on the pole at most races. I think, you know, it's good sometimes to, you know, be within striking distance, but you can see, you know, where you're better than people, where the track's changing. I think when you're the leader, you can get complacent in the lines that you run, especially here at Knoxville. You know, it's tough to tell yourself to move around, but you know, hopefully I've got enough experience here that I can, you know, see when lanes are developing and be okay. But said all along, Rico's going to be the toughest guy to beat this week. You know, there's a lot of good guys, but Rico's been by far the fastest car here at Knoxville. I mean, he's passed more people here this year, and every time he's been here, and in the races that he's won, he's dominated. So he'll be the guy to beat, but I think we got a good shot.
Last one, guys, right here.
Yeah, Spencer, Carson, what's your feelings going into Saturday now? How do you make your way through this field and find your way to victory lane here on Saturday?
I'm hoping they do a 6-car invert, like maybe toss a point or something like that. No, I mean, Kyle being on the front row, he's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I mean, it's the best drivers in the country. At the end of the day, there's a couple guys that had unfortunate nights, but you watch that Friday night, it just seems like, you know, the cream just seems to rise up, and I'm sure them guys will be in the feature too, and it'll be a war for that win on Saturday. It always is. I think, you know, what Spencer said earlier says a lot about this, because I think Spencer's, you know, an incredible race car driver. I've always thought he's very good at race midgets with him. I think, and for him to say, you know, this is his first Knoxville Nationals, it says a lot about this race. It's not easy to get into Knoxville Nationals. It's not easy to win the Knoxville Nationals, and that's why there's a short list of guys that have done it. So, you know, I'm just thankful to be in the race, thankful to be locked in, and you know, 50 laps is a long time, especially in Knoxville. I remember last night watching, and you know, it was like lap 6 or something, and Donnie was running like 7th, and I thought, man, there's no way he's gonna get up there. And then it was like the race just transitions, and traffic gets there, and the pace slows down, and you can just make leaps and bounds of gains in a small, short period of time, just because it takes so long to get around the corners. I think that's what makes Knoxville, you know, unique. So, just happy to be locked in and fight that fight on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think with me being a little bit further back, I think from what I've heard of the lock-in list, it'll be crucial to have a good start again like I did tonight, just to put ourselves in contention on the second 25. You know, like Carson just said, this place changes so much, and on a 50-lapper, they obviously do a little bit of work to it. I'll just wait. Take a drink of beer. That guy's having fun.
Trey.
So, I don't even remember what I was saying. Damn.
We can go ahead and wrap it up, guys.
Yeah.
Train going by here. We do have one-on-one interviews.